Something shifts after 60. You've been married for decades, raised your children, built a life together. But somewhere along the way, you stopped feeling like partners and started feeling like roommates. If you're a woman over 60, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That quiet moment when you realized you've been living on autopilot, going through the motions of a marriage that stopped nourishing your soul years ago. This isn't about divorce. This isn't about anger. This is about the silent awakening that happens when a woman reaches her 60s and finally admits to herself that she's been tolerating instead of living. She's been managing instead of loving. She's been surviving instead of thriving. And once that realization hits, everything changes. Today, we're going deep into why this happens to so many women after 60 and what you can do about it. Here's what nobody tells you about marriage after 60. All those little compromises you made, they don't feel little anymore. Every time you bit your tongue, every time you said it's fine when it wasn't, every time you put someone else's comfort before your own, every single one of those moments has been quietly accumulating. And then one day, you wake up and realize something profound. You don't have another 30 years to waste. The math becomes brutally clear. If you're 65 and healthy, you might have 20 good years left. 20 years. Suddenly, pretending doesn't seem worth it anymore. Suddenly, keeping the peace at the expense of your peace doesn't make sense. This is when women stop apologizing for wanting more. This is when they stop shrinking themselves. The first shift. She's done being the marriage manager. For decades, she's been the one remembering everything. When bills are due, when the grandkids' birthdays are, what the doctor said about his medication. She's coordinated every social event, maintained every family relationship, organized every holiday. But something happens after 60. The exhaustion catches up. She realizes her husband hasn't had to think about any of this because she's been thinking for both of them, and she's tired. The bone-deep tired that comes from carrying invisible weight for so long. She starts wondering, what would happen if I just stopped? Would he even notice? Or would he finally step up and be an equal partner? The second shift. The conversations have died. Remember when you used to talk for hours? When you were curious about each other's thoughts, dreams, fears? Somewhere along the way, those conversations shrank. They became transactional. Did you pick up the milk? What time is the appointment? By 60, many women realize they're living with a man they barely talk to. Not because they're fighting. Fighting would at least mean engagement. No, it's worse. It's indifference. It's the slow fade of curiosity. She tries to start deeper conversations, but he shuts down, gives one-word answers, changes the subject, and slowly she stops trying. She finds her meaningful conversations elsewhere with friends, with anyone who still seems interested in who she actually is. Here's the painful truth that hits women after 60. They realize they've been accepting crumbs and calling it a feast. They've been settling for bare minimum and convincing themselves it's enough. You start seeing other couples who genuinely enjoy each other, who laugh together, who look at each other like they still find each other interesting. And you think, when did we stop being like that? Did I marry someone capable of that kind of partnership? Or have I been making excuses for behavior that was never going to change? This isn't bitterness. This is clarity. The third shift, retirement, revealed who he really is. Before retirement, there was structure. He went to work. She had her routines. There was breathing room. But retirement changed everything. Suddenly, he's home all the time. And she discovers something unsettling. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He follows her around the house. He expects her to entertain him, to fill his days, to give his life meaning. And she realizes, I'm not his wife. I'm his activities director. She had plans for retirement. She wanted to take that art class, join that book club, volunteer. But now she can't, because he's always there, needing her attention. What was supposed to be her time of freedom has become another cage. The fourth shift. She's outgrown the person he's comfortable being. At 60, many women experience a renaissance. They explore new interests, make new friends, embrace parts of themselves they'd suppressed for decades. They become bolder, more authentic, more unapologetically themselves. But their husband? He's still the same person he was 20 years ago. Same opinions, same resistance to change. He's comfortable, He's settled. He's done growing. This creates a canyon between them. She's evolving, becoming more, and he's standing still, expecting her to stay in the box she's outgrown. Every time she tries something new, he questions it. Every time she reaches for more, he pulls her back. Eventually, she stops sharing her growth with him. Let me tell you what breaks a woman's heart after 60. It's not the big betrayals. It's the accumulation of small disappointments. It's realizing that the person sleeping next to you doesn't really see you. It's sitting across from each other at dinner in complete silence. Not because you've run out of things to say, but because saying them feels pointless. It's feeling like you're invisible in your own marriage. And at 60, you don't have time to waste on feeling invisible. The fifth shift, physical intimacy, became a memory. For many women over 60, physical intimacy has completely disappeared. And it's not just about sex. It's about touch, affection, tenderness, feeling desired. She can't remember the last time he touched her in a way that meant something, a hand that lingers, a kiss beyond routine, a look that says, "I still find you beautiful." When that disappears, she starts to feel like she's no longer a woman, just a function, just a caretaker. The sixth shift, she stopped making excuses for him. For years, she defended him. He works hard. That's just how men are. She made excuses for behavior she would never accept from anyone else. But after 60, she stops. She sees him clearly, a man who could have been a better partner and chose not to be, a man who had decades to learn how to communicate, how to be emotionally present, and decided it wasn't worth the effort. This isn't cruel. This is honest. The seventh shift. She values her friendships more than her marriage. Pay attention to where a woman over 60 spends her emotional energy. If she's calling her girlfriends every day, lighting up when talking about her book club, but going quiet when her husband walks in, that tells you everything. She's found connection, laughter, understanding with people who actually listen, who make her feel valued and alive. Her marriage has become what she tolerates, so she can get to what actually fulfills her. Before you think this is just about complaining, let me be clear. It doesn't have to end this way. Marriages after 60 can be the most beautiful chapter of your life together, but only if both people are willing to wake up. If you're a husband listening to this, here's what I need you to hear. It's not too late, but the window is closing. Your wife isn't asking for the moon. She's asking to be seen, to be heard, to be valued. Start having real conversations. Ask her about her day and actually listen. Show physical affection. Develop your own interests. Share the mental load. Notice her. Appreciate her. Choose her every single day. And if you're a woman over 60 who sees herself in this story, know this: your feelings are valid. You're not being ungrateful. You're not being selfish. You're simply refusing to settle for less than you deserve when time is too precious to waste. You have choices. You can have honest conversations with your partner. You can seek counseling together. You can set boundaries. You can reclaim your joy with or without his participation. The women who thrive after 60 are the ones who stop apologizing for wanting more, who stop shrinking themselves, who stop tolerating what diminishes them. Marriage after 60 isn't about sticking it out. It's about choosing to show up fully, authentically, courageously every day. It's about being brave enough to say this isn't working and being willing to do the hard work to change it. Your golden years should actually be golden. You deserve a partner who sees you, hears you, values you, and chooses you every single day. Anything less is settling, and at 60 you're too wise, too valuable, and too aware of time's preciousness to settle for anything less than genuine connection. Thank you for being here. If this resonated with you, you're not alone. And remember, it's never too late to choose yourself, to choose authenticity, to choose a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside. Until next time, choose yourself. You've earned it.